אני לא רציתי לעשות את זה, אבל one of the guys, בסוף תורה, קריב, יש לו צ'אנל ביחד, אז הרב חיים מיגה דפק אותי, הוא אמר לי, אני אקנה לך הכל, אני אקנה לך this, he bought me a special phone, זה לא זה, יש לי phone, אמרתי, לא רוצה שום דבר, יש לך אחד מהאנשים, הוא ישלח את הוידאו, אני אמרתי, אני לא... Because I don't have YouTube and stuff like that. I don't want anything. He said, don't worry, someone else will do it. The point is that let people get influenced by it, let people see.
Maar ik ga gaan met deze, zo gelijk met hem. Het is een groep, zo bij een groep en everybody at one watching.
Yeah. Oh, group, you sound like that, yeah.
People like learn from group, the others, all different.
Yeah, he's the one that pushed me to do this. He pushed me. You have to do this.
לא סוברים כך. We are that.
Okay, ready? Yeah. So we're gonna do this way, and then you can upload it to the group this way as well.
That would be a Sefer Torah.
Figure it out.
That's a code.
I can just do a link to that, like, we'll figure it out.
And he already has links. He has access to it. I don't know. I don't have access to this. You said you didn't have access to links. Okay. Fine.
Now, according to Rava, if you
No,
don't
it's just started. It's on?
Lo
Oh, it's on already. Oh, okay. Good morning, everybody.
רק
Let's get started. We're gonna give them an olive. Sechta.
Okay?
On the bottom, the middle of the discussion
Let's see Rashi.
of
Let's see Rashi's on the
if avodah, we had a couple chomer. Let's remind us. We had a couple chomer. The Gemara wanted to say if avodah is pushed away, is mevatel because of the mitzvah of Mikra Megillah. So for sure, Talmud Torah, which is on a lower level, the Gemara is saying for sure going to be pushed away because of the mitzvah of Kriyat Megillah. The Gemara says it's not true. The Gemara says va'avodah. We'll go back a few lines. Va'avodah chamura b'Talmud Torah is avodah really more common than Talmud Torah. But it says in the pasuk va'hi b'yot Yeshua b'Yericho. Yeshua was in Yericho. V'Yisai now he picked up his eyes va'yar and he saw v'hinei ish omed lenegdo. There was a man sitting opposite him, or standing opposite him. Sorry, standing opposite him, right? V'yishtachu and he bowed down to him. So the Gemara on a side point just asked, "V'echi avrachi, how did he do this? How did he bow down to him?" V'omer Yeshua ben Levi, Yeshua ben Levi said, "Aser la'adam she'iten shalom l'chavero b'layla." A person is not allowed to say hi to his friend at night. Chashin shem sheinu, or choshesh maybe he is a shame. You can't just say hi to everybody at night. Back in the day, it was very common. They're all around. No, shani hatam. Shani hatam is different over there. The Amalei, because he said this person said this angel we're gonna see said Ki ani sar tzva Hashem. I am the sar of Hashem. I'm the sar of Hashem. Because he's the sar of Hashem.
This word Tzeva, that's Hebrew or Aramaic?
Tzva is the army, yeah. I'm the army, I'm the officer, I'm the sar is the officer of the Tzva Hashem, I'm the officer of the army of Hashem. He said clearly I'm not a demon. That's why we don't have to worry that he's a shame.
That's not explicit in the Torah, it's like a medrash or something, right? When he says I'm the Sar of...
No, it's part of the pasuk.
Yeah, okay.
If you look at the pasuk,
I don't remember. Yeah.
Look at the pasuk on the side. ויהי ביות יהושע בריחו ויישא עיניו וירא והנה האיש עומד על ידו וחבר שופר בדרך יהושע אליו ויאמר לה לא כי אני שר צבא השם. The pasuk says Yeshua hey Yadal Yud Yadal. Those are the two psukim. Okay. So the Gemara asks, but Dilma Meshakri, maybe he's lying, right? Maybe the guy's lying. Maybe this angel is lying and he's not an angel. Maybe he's just a demon. Maybe we have a tradition that a demon will not say Shem Hashem Vatala. So they're not going to, basically he's not going to lie about it. If the angel is saying,
Even demons have morals.
yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. So that's all a side point. Again, that was just to try to understand the story. Now we're going to get back to our proof. So Amar Lo, he said to him, Emesh, yesterday, Bitaltem Tamid Shel Ben Harbayim. Yesterday you didn't bring.
Emesh is yesterday?
It's either yesterday or in the afternoon. I'm not exactly. I thought it was yesterday. No, you know what? Let's translate it as sunset, as around sunset. Harav Shemesh. Shemesh means like towards the afternoon. You know, not yesterday. In the afternoon.
Afternoon or evening? So is it sunset?
Towards the afternoon, towards the end of the afternoon. Shemesh is you can write afternoon.
It has something to do with the sun? That's easier to remember.
Yeah, towards the the end of the day. It has to be before sunset, but towards the end of the day, because you can't bring the korban tamid after sunset.
Right.
Bring it in the afternoon.
Okay.
So in the Emesh, towards the afternoon, or towards the evening, Vitaltem Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim. You guys didn't bring the Tamid of the Ben Arbaim, right?
What does Bataltem mean?
Vitaltem, you nullified, like nullified, said we had the word before. You nullified Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim. Oh,
Good morning, good morning.
Right, this way. Right, this way. So, go on this side. So we're up to the words we got to yesterday. Emesh, yesterday afternoon. Bitaltem Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim. You didn't do the Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim. V'achshav, and now Bitaltem Talmud Torah, and now you revolved the Talmud Torah. Yesterday you didn't read the Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim, and now you didn't learn Torah tonight, right? In the afternoon you didn't read the Korbanot. Why didn't you read Korbanot? You're on the battlefield. Obviously you can't read Korbanot, right? You're not in the Beit Hamikdash.
Because why?
Because down on the battlefield. Again, the angel came to Yoshua. He said to him yesterday, in the afternoon, you didn't read the Korban. Tell me why. Because we're in the battlefield. Fine. But and now, V'achshav, and now in the evening, we taught them Talmud Torah. You didn't learn Torah. There it is.
Since he's occupied, like why is he not learning Talmud Torah? Why did he miss both of these requirements?
Take the other one. Take the other pencils.
But what's the context? Why is he missing his responsibilities? Why is he?
On the war.
He's on his way to fight Esau.
They're fighting. No, they're fighting in Jericho.
Right.
They're trying to conquer Eretz Yisrael, right? So they're fighting. They're trying to conquer Jericho, right? So so let's see. Amar lo Emesh in the afternoon. Bitaltem Tamid Shal Ben Arbaim. V'achshav, and now at tonight. Bitaltem Talmud Torah. You're not learning Torah, right? The second to last line. See what we're
So how come he just says?
and now we tell them Talmud Torah. Right? Fine. So Amar Lo, so he asks him. So he asks the angel. Amar Lo, he asks him. He says to him.
Even though we passed like so if that's the case,
Al Ezemehem Bata. Al Ezemehem Bata. Question mark. On which one are you coming for? On which one are you moneying me for? Which one are you really coming for? Are you coming for the Talmud Torah that I didn't learn? Or are you coming from the fact that I didn't read Korbanot? Like, what are you angry about? What is the Shem angry about? Which one of these do you come for?
Yeah.
If they're any for business or business for the
No. Afal Gab.
The word says, Amrlo, Ata Bati, I came for now. Ata means now, Bati, I came. Meaning I came for now, I came for the Talmud Torah. Meaning, okay, for the fact that you didn't read Korbanot, it's one thing. But the fact that you didn't learn Torah is much worse. So what do you see from the Gemara?
Talmud Torah
It's more stringent than Korbanot. Because again, you didn't read the Korban in the afternoon. You didn't learn Torah tonight. And he asked him, which one is Hashem more angry about, so to speak? Which one did you come for? You came for now, Ba'ata. You came for now, you came for what you didn't do tonight. So clearly we see that Talmud Torah is on a higher level than Avodah, so really the Shemitah. The Gemara says, the Gemara says, Amar Lo, I'm sorry, Biyah right away, he took the Musar, and Vayal and Yeshua Balayla Hu. Yeshua stayed that night. Yeshua stayed over.
the Yala stayed.
It's like to stay over. Lidah means to stay on the night, but in this context it means you stay, which means to stay put.
Immediately he stayed put.
Miyad right away, Kama. The pasuk says, "Vayalin Yeshua Balayla." That's the pasuk. Bitoch ha'emek, in which is also part of the thing. In the valley, Bitoch is inside. Ha'emek, the valley. We stayed in the valley.
And therefore,
Okay. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says. Melamed, this comes to teach us.
Rashi lived in the year 1000, right? We're talking over 1,000 years.
Yeah, I think you have to do it at the same time that you read the words. That's what you have to words, the Gemara words. You're writing the art scroll without getting the words. You gotta do both at the same time. Yeah, this comes to teach us. Shelan, that he stayed be'omka shel halacha, in the depth. Omek is the depth of halacha, which means he didn't just stay over. Then he just, like the pasuk literally means he stayed over. But no, the Gemara is darshing that he learned Torah. He learned the whole night. He was lan be'omka shel halacha. He was training in the depth of the Torah. And now the Gemara is going to say the punchline, which is what we're waiting for. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Unya. Shmuel Bar Unya says, Gadol Talmud Torah yoter mikravat timidim. Talmud Torah is greater than hakravat timidim, bringing korbanot, bringing korban tamid. Korban tamid is the korban that we bring every day, like we mentioned in the pasuk. Right? So Talmud Torah is greater than bringing korbanot tamid. Shneimar ata bati, I came for now. I'm coming for now. I didn't come for the korbanot. I came more because of the fact that you didn't learn Torah, and then you took sorry, learn Torah the whole night. Right? But the point is, what do you see? You see that Talmud Torah is on a higher level than Avodah. So how are you making me a Kal Chomer, telling me that if Avodah is pushed aside for the mitzvah of Megillah, for sure Talmud Torah is not true. We see that Talmud Torah is on a higher level. Right, we're all going back to the original question that we had. Right, remember, that was the question that you had. Talmud Torah is the highest mitzvah. So how can you make Kal Chomer? That's the Gemara's question from this Gemara. So now, not only are we just, now we brought a support from Yeshua that Talmud Torah is on a higher level than the Korbanot, right? Gemara says, Lo Kasha, it's not a question. Lo Kasha, it's not a question. Gemara is going to give a differentiation, a difference. It depends on the scenario. Hadi Rabim, Hadi Yachid. When it's Rabim, when it's a public Rabim, right? You know Rabim means public. When it's a lot of people, then you're right. Talmud Torah is much more chamor. Like over there in Yoshua, by Yoshua, it was the whole Yisrael went to fight, or whatever. A large population, large amount of people went to go fight the war, and they all weren't learning because they were all fighting, and but the problem, the main time on the way this speaks out was the fact is that now that they're resting at night, they weren't learning. Okay, during the day, you're actually physically fighting. You're also mitzvah, right? A person, Hashem is not going to have time as while you're working, you could have been learning. Let's say a person is working to support his family, right? So Hashem after 120 is not going to say, oh, during the time that you were working, you should have been learning. Well, I had to support my family. During the time not. But what about 6:20 in the morning, whenever you could have come before you should have learned? Right? After work, before work. After work, before work. Right? And what about at night? Right? What about at night? After coming from a long day of work. That's when Hashem was going to ask you, why didn't you learn? Sitting over here, they were the Yeshua over there. They were encamping. They were just waiting. They were not actively fighting at night. That's what it sounds like. That's why the angel came to them. Like, what are you guys doing now? You should have been learning. Okay, so it depends. If it's Rabim, Lokash Hadi Rabim, when it's the Rabim, when it's like the whole army of Klal Yisrael, then yes, Talmud Torah is more chamor. The Hadi Achid, and when was the Kal V'chomer made that Talmud Torah is on a lower level than Korbanot, that's when it's a Yachid, that's when it's an individual. When the person is by himself, then Talmud Torah is on a higher level than Avodah is on a higher level than the Talmud Torah. So if it's a Yachid's Talmud Torah, then the Avodah is on a higher level. But if it's a Rabbim's Talmud Torah, then it's what he calls on a higher level. Okay. So the Gemara says now. So right, clear answer? Yeah. Rabim, when it's a lot of people, then the Talmud Torah is on a higher level.
It's just weird because
Talmud Torah is on a lower level.
The rectification of the angel's criticism was that he personally, individually went and studied. They didn't mention that whole Kahal studied.
What? Oh, you're saying the same Yeshua.
The future. Correct. And therefore, that would apply to
right. Yeah, even though the state, maybe he grabbed everybody. Not sure.
Yeah, that's what we know.
Maybe he was the only one that did the learning. The point is that Hashem was angry at not only him, but Klal Yisrael. He was leaving.
Then you go early, not a village that only does that. And we don't let you read early. No reason to let you read early then. Do it anyway.
It didn't spell it out in the beginning either. It was, I guess, just inference. It didn't spell out in the beginning that it was the whole group. It was, the context was just him.
That village could read early, so they could be $300. Otherwise, there's no reason to.
So we had the Haki period and the Rakama, and then the next word is the Yachid.
Yeah, now the Gemara is going to add the Yachid Kal, is it really true that a Yachid is more lenient?
A random question.
Yes.
In English, when a word starts with "and," that's not usually, it's not the beginning of a sentence, but in Gemara, like, should I be putting a comma before, or I don't know do it often, but when I do, like, is it a comma or is it a period?
No, so the Gemara just answered Hadaram Hadiyach. Now we're going to ask on what we just said.
So that's a period.
Yeah.
That could be a brand new thing, even though it starts with the word "and."
But it happens to be over here, it's connected to what we just said. Now we're like, we're challenging what we just said.
It's usually connected, but at the same time, it's a period.
I mean a comma. Because we're asking on what we just said. Is it true that the Yachid is more Kal? Is it really true that a Yachid, that a Talmud Torah of a Yachid is more what we call more lenient, and we're going to push it aside faster, right? Even though it's Talmud Torah, is it really true that Yachid of the Talmud Torah Yachid is more Kal? But tonight we went to the Mishnah. This is regarding the Chot Amilut.
What does Kal mean?
Kal more lenient. Like Kal v'chol. Kal lenient. Is the Yachid Talmud Torah really more lenient? And we're going to push it away for the mitzvah of Megillah. But tonight we learned in the Mishnah. This is the Mishnah it's in a bunch of places. It's in the Moed Katan. Moed Katan is the main source of it because it's a Mishnah about Aleilut, which is Nashim b'Moed. Nashim al Chol Moed. Woman b'Moed means al Chol Moed. Okay. Me'anot. They may. Me'anot means they may do haspedim on the dead body. They may cry out. You can write it. You can cry out about the loss of the loved one. Avalo matbachot. They cannot clap or bang on themselves. They used to do the matbachot is like they used to like bang on their chest. It was a form of mourning. So on Chol Moed, since it's a happy day, it's a holy day, they can do the first level of Avedut, which is Ma'anot, which is with their mouth. We're going to cry out for the dead body. They cannot, they cannot bang on their chest. Okay?
So it's like the Yom Tov, no, you can't do any of this, but it's like in between, like Pesach, Chol
Moed, Pesach, Chol Moed, Sukkot, yeah. That's the first opinion, that's the Tana Kama. Now, Kama, and then Rabbi Shmuel says, if hayu smuchot leisha, if they were next to the bed, if they are smuchot, is next to the mitad of bed, mitpachot, they are able to bang on their chest. Okay? So Rabbi Shmuel argues a little more. When he holds that if you're right next to the bed, and over there it's a lot of pain, obviously, because you're right next to the body of the deceased.
The bed of
the person deceased, then you're able to bang. Right? The Tanakama held it was usher across the board. Rabbi Shmuel says, no, if you're right next to the bed, it's permitted. Now, comma. Okay? Berosh Chodashim on Rosh Chodesh. That was all about Chol Moed. Now what about Rosh Chodesh? We have Rosh Chodesh also a happy day. And B'Chanukah, U'B'Purim, and Purim.
What's the level? I would think Moed is the highest.
Moed is probably higher, but the Gemara is going to ask now. Let's see. We'll see. We'll see right now if he has more lenient ability. So then obviously Chol Moed was hard. Let's see. Rosh Chodesh, B'Chanukah, U'B'Purim. Right, these are all Dinei Derabanan. Moed is a Doraita. Right, Chol Moed is part of the holiday of Pesach and Sukkot, which is Doraita. So on Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah and Purim, those days, Ma'anot umet b'chol, they're able to cry out and they're also able to bang. Right? Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Look at the heading. It goes to the pasuk.
Okay. Now, Bezel, both on Chol Moed and all these dates, right?
Originally it gave the number of the date of the month.
Einan Mikoranot. They changed the word Aval to Einan on the side of the Gemara. Einan, Aleph, Yud, Nun, Vav. Nun, Vav, Sofi.
Sorry, where?
You see where the Aleph is?
Yeah.
So the Aleph takes you to the Bach. The Bach is right here. Einan. You see both ways here. Aleph. Einan.
Understood that
Yeah, Bach, I see it. Yeah.
So you can analyze that and then change it to your mark. Einan Mekononot, right? On both these dates, on Rosh Chodesh and Chol Moed, all these days, you cannot be Mekononot. You cannot do this chanting. Okay? And the Gemara explains what does it mean, this chanting, but in Masechet Moed Katan, it explains it's a more intense form of Avilut, which already holds you cannot do. You cannot, the banging we said is a masloket, which days yes, sometimes no, next to the bed, not next to the bed, but Mekononot is not allowed.
Sorry, what is Mekononot again?
Mekononot is a certain type of chanting.
So if we didn't have the Bach, then we would think it's only going on the Rabbanan days, but the Bach is saying it's going on both the direct Moed and
Bezel means both on the Moed and on the other days. Bezel if you read Aval Lo Mekononot, it sounds funny, like it doesn't read well. Bezel on all these dates. Bezel on these, on this and this. Bezel means literally means on this and this, but it means going on all these dates, I believe. Lo Mekononot, you cannot do this chanting type of thing.
But I don't see why we need Einan. Aval Lo, but you can't. Mekononot.
Bezel, Aval Lo Mekononot. I guess it just, for me, it doesn't read well. That's why I like the Aval Lo, but not Mekononot. You can't do chanting. I guess you can read that well. So yeah, okay. Einan just flows a little bit. Bezel, Einan Mekononot. On both these days, you cannot do it. It's just more direct.
It's a double lashon, no?
What?
It's a double negative, no? It's like a double no. Einan, no, and then Lo means no, right?
No. So according to him, you take out the word Lo. Just. That's why it reads flows nicely. Aval Lo Mekononot sounds like I think that's why he's changing it. Obviously he hasn't sort of changed it, he's just changing it. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now this is the punchline for us. This is the point that we're trying to get to. Again, we're trying to prove that even a Yachid, even a Talmud Torah of a Yachid is more Chomer. And don't take it lightly. Because again, we just said before, there's no question. One is a Yachid, one is a Rabbi, right? A Yachid, Talmud Torah is not so special, not so significant. And we'll push it away faster. And Avodah is more important. But when it comes to Rabbi, you're right. Talmud Torah Rabbi is more important. That's what we said until now. Now the Gemara is trying to prove from this whole incident, this whole Mishnah by Avilut, that it's not so true. So what? Now I'm going to read the punchline. The Gemara says, En moed b'fnei talmid chacham. There's no dinim of chol moed. En moed means there's no dinim of chol moed. There's no halachot of chol moed. B'fnei talmid chacham, in front of the talmid chacham that passes away. The talmid chacham passes away. There is no halachot of moed. Moed is pushed aside because of the talmid chacham, according to Rabbi Aruna. Understand? Which means we're not going to say, it's a chol moed, it's a happy day, so we're not going to be able to mourn the talmid chacham. We're going to mourn the talmid chacham, according to this opinion. I don't know how we possibly know Allah, but this is what he's saying. Right? Because she came, and for sure, Chanukah and Purim, and Koshkin Chanukah and Purim, that we're going to push aside Chanukah and Purim in order to what? In order for them to honor the honor of the deceased.
He represents Torah.
Because he represents Torah. So you see Talmud Chacham, he's only one Talmud Chacham, one person that passes away, and we're pushing away the whole holiday of Purim. As we just said, Koshkin Chanukah Purim. So Tosaf brings out, what's the Gemara's question? If you're able to give them Hespedim, you're able to mourn over them, you're able to give them eulogies, even though it's going to involve Mikra Megillah, so you see the Talmud Torah is more Chomer than Mikra Megillah. You were telling me Yachid is more, the Talmud Torah of Yachid is more lenient, and we're not going to necessarily, and that's what and the Talmud Chomer is telling you that you're going to push away. Let's say you have one person that's learning, he has to stop learning and go hear Megillah, right? So that's what we're saying, right? But now from this Braita, what do you see from the piece of the morning? That when one Talmud Chacham passes away, what do we say? Don't hear Megillah, go and mourn. So it's a question, right? You were trying to tell me the differentiation is between a rabbim. When it's a rabbim, the Talmud Torah is very stringent. When it's one guy, it's okay. Time to go hear Megillah, right? Now we're saying no. Even for one Talmud Chacham that passes away, what do we say? Don't hear Megillah, go and mourn. The Gemara says, whoa, 1 second.
I just like when we first read this originally, when it said the women are allowed to cry, like I didn't think that meant Moed doesn't exist anymore. I just thought it's both.
Correct.
Okay.
I thought when I said the woman can cry on Moed, I thought it meant like, okay, both, like they'll cry and then they'll go do their Chol Hamoed activities. They'll do both.
Yeah, but now the way Tosa learns that.
Now this is something else.
No, because we're saying
even
according to
no. But the story from before doesn't change it.
Yeah.
Before it meant both. They can do both.
Yeah, they can do both. Yeah. What is it then? Yes. So the Gemara answers, what are you talking about? The Gemara says it's a very simple the differentiation. Kavod Torah Kamrit. You're making me a raya from Kavod of the Torah. Kavod of the Torah, you're right. Kavod Torah is much more like for the honor of the Torah for a deceased. That's not Talmud Torah. That's when a person passes away. That's Kavod Torah. Why are you going? Why when a big rabbi passes away? Why do we go to the Levi? Why do we mourn? Because of the honor that we want to give to the Torah that he learned, right? It's not because he's learning right now. He's actually not alive right now. Yeah, that's all about Kavod Torah. So the Gemara says Kavod Torah Kamar. You're telling me Kavod Torah? Kavod Torah is different. Kavod Torah the Yachid Chamer. The Kavod of the Torah of a Yachid is more Chamer. But Talmud Torah the Yachid Kal. So the honor of the Torah is more important than the Talmud Torah itself. It comes out. Instead, it's a big huge. Kavod, let's read it together. Kavod Torah Kamrit. You're telling me Kavod Torah? Yeah, it's like a question mark. It's like a rhetorical question. Kavod Torah Kamrit. You're telling me Kavod Torah? Kavod Torah the Yachid Chamer. The Kavod of a Torah of a Yachid is more stringent. But Talmud Torah the Yachid Kal. But Talmud Torah of a Yachid is Kal. So the Kavod of the Torah of a Yachid is very Chamer. Even one Talmud Chacham that passes away, to honor him, we're going to mevatel everything. We'll mevatel the whole holiday of Purim. And we said Hanukkah, everything is mevatel because you have to go and give honor to the Talmud Chacham, even if it means missing Megillah. But Talmud Torah Yachid is more kal, meaning if you're learning, and now Megillah is time to hear Megillah, you got to go start learning and go hear Megillah. But if someone passes away, it's different. So you can't really hear proof from someone passing away because that's not Talmud Torah, that's Kavod Torah. Right? Think about it. It's not the same thing. I don't know why we didn't think about this ourselves. Talmud Chacham passing away is not mevatel Talmud. It's mevatel whatever you're doing because you have to go honor the person that passed away, not because of Talmud Torah itself. So that's not a right. So coming out, the Talmud Torah B'Yachid is more calm. What about the whole thing with the Gemara with the Avelos and everything? That's about honoring the Talmud Chacham. That's not the same thing as actual Talmud Torah. Okay, stop over here, guys. By the dot, and we'll do Chazar now.
No, Wednesday and Thursday.
So why we go 2 days back?
So for them it's one day.
Good.